Hello. Welcome to my live. Pop in. Let me know that I've got this going okay. I really hope I do. Right? I went in to do my live and it said I was changing things and I needed to do my two-step and everything in my verifications. And I wasn't doing anything different than what I was doing every single week. But I don't know. I guess I'm live. We'll see. We'll see who pops in. Let me know where you're from. And yeah, if you haven't been on my channel before, my name's Cindy. I explore a little bit of the inside and a little bit of the outside. And on Sunday nights, we usually come in and we do it an hour and a half live. And we just keep each other company and keep in touch. And we find out who's got problems and issues. And Andrew is one of my moderators here. You'll probably, oh, there he is right now. There's Andrew, right? He's one of my moderators who runs the show. And, he's a great conversationalist. And if you have topics to discuss or you have questions, he's really good at finding answers for the questions. I've got the fan on today. I hope it doesn't bother anybody. It's just that the heater's broken in my apartment and I'm getting heated out of my apartment. So I've got the front door open a little bit to bring in the cool air. It's already snowing. It's already getting cold outside. So, but I brought the fan into the living room just in case it gets really, really hot in here because I shut the door a little bit more just because I don't want to bother the neighbors and stuff when I do my lives, right? I already bothered them tonight when I do my lives. I also do a live every day on Instagram. How are you doing tonight, Andrew? How are you doing tonight? How's your week been looking? Wow, that's sure a glow in the dark kind of headband, isn't it? I don't need to wear that. I just got back from a walk. I went for a little bit of a walk. I went to the grocery store to get the few things that I need for the rest of the week and got some laundry done today, washed and swept my floors, cleaned out a junk drawer. I got another important chore out of the way and I got it all into a toolbox and everything, what I want to take. And then I put a big box of stuff that my nephew can pick through or my caretaker or something can pick through if he wants and take what he wants. But I hope everything's been going good with you. Oh, Kathy's here too for the live. Awesome. We'll see who wants to come in and have a conversation. I don't know what's been going on. It's been one crazy week for me, right? I got my 24 hours notice in my apartment. My caretaker wanted me out. Another scare tactic. I don't blame them. I don't blame them from trying, but I wish they would just kind of, right, let the courts deal with it and everything. I guess they're, go through the rentalsman, right? But I'll get a 5-day, I'll get a 5-day notice and then I'll get a date for a hearing to find out what I can do to stay. But I'm just going to put $500 every 2 weeks into a trust fund and just build up that trust fund and I'll have them paid off in no time. At least, when I leave here, at least I won't leave here owing them lots of money. That would be a good thing for me, right? Just to keep my self-respect that way. Let's see what Andrew's got to say. Okay. Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, it sounds like lots of things going on for you this week, too. This week is a week of change, right? And I'm supposed to be jumping into things, what is that? Feet first, just jump right in. I got the Fool's card 3 times, right? I just kind of shuffled the deck and everything earlier, and I just pulled a card for my live tonight on Instagram. And it was the Fool, right? And it was asking to do some, the Fool makes some big moves. It usually will think with its heart. It won't think with its brain quite often. And it'll take chances, right? And yeah, it wanted my audience to take chances there on Instagram. And I pulled out that Fool card. And then after I did my live, I says, well, can I get a little bit of clarification on that Fool card, right? Like, could I get a little bit, So I shuffled up my cards and I pulled my card. It was the Fool again. Like, what's the message? What's the message, right? I'm supposed to make a big move. I'm supposed to make a big move, but I didn't have the camera going that second time, right? And it's been happening a lot to me. It's really, really weird, right? I just made a cup of coffee, but then my coffee filter caved in, and so I ended up with like half a cup of coffee grind. So I had to make another cup of coffee too. So lots of little snags mixed in with me too, right? Lots of good stuff kind of pulling me forward and everything. But at the same time, there's little snags here and there, right? Little snags here and there. Oh, you got a flu shot. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't get the flu shot. Like, they're free here too. You can go to the drugstore and have your flu shot and everything, if you want, especially with my age group. I don't think even have to wait in line. I just go up to the counter and they'll just give me the shot right away. But I had it twice, and both times I had serious reactions to that flu shot. The first time, it was the very next day, 24 hours afterwards, all the tendons and ligaments in my feet something happened to them. They got totally inflamed, and I couldn't even stand on my feet for like 9 months. The guys in the paint department had to buy me special shoes and everything. And I'd never had so much pain in my entire life. And I was totally convinced that it was the flu shot, because I heard about people who have symptoms. It was so strange because I never have issues with anything, but I was working on concrete floors at the time, right? But then the second time, I got the same condition with the muscles and the tendons and the ligaments, but I got it all in the arm this time, and it lasted for a very, very long time. And supposedly it happens to like 1 in 13 people or something. And I told my doctor, and he told me, that I shouldn't be taking, like, just to stay on the precaution side, not to take the flu shots, right? Don't, Andrew. Oh, okay. So you were just having an angry moment there, right? Just having an angry moment there. Let me move the microphone away from my face a little bit, right? I do that too. I was a smoker too. I didn't smoke for very long. I think I smoked for 10 years. I think I smoked for 10 years. I think actually I started smoking just before I had my operation for the gastric bypass. And it was for a stupid reason too. I started smoking so that it would keep me occupied. It would keep my hands occupied. It would keep my mind occupied. And I did it to lose weight. I started smoking, and I ended up smoking 2 packages of cigarettes every day, or a package and a half of cigarettes every single day. And then when I got married, cigarettes were just too expensive. And me and my husband both smoked, and I said, no, that can't happen. We're going to smoke rollies. And so we smoked rolling cigarettes, and I rolled 2 packages of cigarettes every single day. 1 pack for him and 1 pack for me. And I did that every single day. And yeah, our marriage on Friday nights, just so he wouldn't feel like a poor person or something, we would buy fresh packs on the weekend. I guess maybe we did every once in a while. We were both making very good money. I was making just as much money, if not more, than my husband was. I was making very good money. At that time, I was working in a nightclub that eventually turned into a bar, and then turned into a sports bar, gentleman's bar. And yeah, it was one of my favorite jobs I ever had. And at the same time working at that bar, I served on base. I was a bartender at the junior ranks at Capion Barracks, and I did that for years too. And I absolutely loved working the socials there. They were so much fun, right? Yeah. Yeah, I had in my 20s were absolutely amazing. I would say probably from the time I was, well, I guess from around 25 years old right until I was probably 40 years old, life was pretty good. Mind you, I had some sad times in there too, right? My marriage dissipating at that time too. So that was kind of sad period of my life. I try to think, like cuz I did have a lot of good years. I had a lot of fun, in some of those years and some of those decades that I lived in. But, I also went through a lot of sad, insecure, right? Problem times too. And right now I'm breaking out of codependency, is what I'm working on now, right? It's my codependency. And I've been doing a really good job, but it's kind of sad work too, because you change after a while, right? You change into a different person, and then the people that you were hanging out with and socialized with and related to, you don't relate to them the same way anymore, right? So it's really hard because you're really, really close to these people, but you gotta go your own ways because you just don't have interest in each other. It's just like I said when I said that I never had kids, and then all my friends were getting married and having kids, and I wasn't doing that. And so I couldn't relate to them anymore because, whenever we get together, they would want to show baby pictures, and I would have to be pretending to be interested. And then I would have their screaming over bunctious kids all crawling all over me and everything, looking for attention. And, fine for them, right? I understand the children. They need that attention, and I gave it to them wholeheartedly, but not because I wanted to. It's only because that's what the kids were asking for, and that's what the kids needed. So I really would have preferred not to have even been there because, yeah, I didn't relate to my friends anymore after a while, right? And we all move on, right? We all move on. Oh, Melvin's here too. Hi, Melvin. Hi, Melvin. Let's see what Andrew's been yapping at. Let's see what Andrew's been yapping about. Right? Exactly, Andrew. Like we all go on our separate ways. And as we move on, and if we're introverts, if we spend a lot of time on our own, we're talking with ourselves, we are doing things that make us happy, right? It's like when I went urban exploring and back road exploring, like those were things that I did myself. And that's how I got to be so introspective and enjoying in my own companies, just so that when I was off driving and everything, I would just be able to, just get deep into the thoughts and think about things that I wanted to think about. And I didn't have to entertain people who didn't have the same interests as me, right? It's important that we hang with people. If we're going to be hanging with people, I think our social groups are going to get smaller and smaller going forward from now on. You know what I mean? People have expanded their social groups so much, and they've taken on so many different personalities, so many different perspectives, and so many different ideals as their own that they've kind of lost touch of who they really are, right? Ooh, that was in depthful, right? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back over that and see what I said there because it sounded very insightful. It did, yeah, and probably a lesson for me too. But yeah, so I enjoy my own company. I love hanging out on my own. I like doing my own thing, right? I'm a unique, right? So if I went and hung out with somebody else, right, then I would be feeling like I would want to make sure that they were having a good time with me, and then I would change my personality to make it more more for them so that the experience was more for them. And there are times that you do that. Of course, there are times that you do that and you enjoy it, But when it's constant, I want always my friends, like my closest friends, just to be, straight up with me, honest with me, resonate with me, right? And actually, you don't even have to resonate with me, right? You don't have to believe in anything I say, but at least be open to it, right? At least to be open to the ideas. In the end, the only reason I'm here is because, like I say on my live show today, right? It's all about just expanding on our evolutions, right? It's was it yesterday? Yesterday, I had a customer, right, and I was commenting on a lady's hair or something. It was really, she had really pretty hair, and I was commenting on her hair. And I believe in compliments. Compliments help people feel good about themselves, right? And as long as the compliment is genuine and you actually mean the compliment, you know what? It's a really good way to build up in yourself the positivity, right? So that helps you on your abundant way as you're moving forward, right? I do that lots. I compliment lots, but the thing is, you have to be genuine in your compliments. Oh, I mixed my cards. You can't just throw them out there like they're popcorn, right? Because eventually, especially when you're at work and all day at work, you're giving out compliments, which quite often I do, right? So then when you go to compliment your coworker, well, then your coworker is not going to believe you because he knows or she knows that you're always complimenting anyway. So if you always make a point of mentioning that, it's genuine, it's really coming from the heart, right? Yes, you'd like to compliment, but you wouldn't say anything that wasn't true, right? But anyway, back to this thing. I complimented this lady about her beautiful hair, right? I complimented her about her beautiful hair. And then her husband took his hand and he rubbed it over his head like this, right? He says, yeah, but what about mine? I says, well, yours looks absolutely amazing too, because you know why? That's the next stage of evolution, right? And it's so true. Like balding men, that is what it is. It's the next stage of evolution. It's going to be a way for women to henpeck, to pick their partners and stuff. It'll get to the point where, that's what women will be looking for, those bald-headed men, right? Because then they'll know that they're getting somebody's in their next stage of evolution, right? That's the way I think of it anyway, right? Because slowly, we don't need all that hair. It used to be like we needed that hair to stay warm and to keep out I guess we had a lot of parasites and stuff in our hair, but basically just to keep us warm and to identify us. And yeah, I should actually Google for all the reasons that, as early Neanderthals, why we would have had so much hair. But I'm pretty certain it was for warmth, right? It was a warmth thing. You had a rough week. I can tell, Andrew. I can tell that you had a rough week today. I could tell, I'm getting really good. I can read feelings now, even in messages and texts. Like I could just read it. I can feel it in the words, right? When people write me and text me. And I learned that from my sister, right? With dealing with my sister and I could read right beside. So I can feel, Andrew, that you really just did not have a good week and you would prefer probably not to start this week over again too. Yeah. And we all have those bad weeks, right? I'm in them too, right? I'm sure most of us are in those poopy times going on right now. Like I need to get some forms printed and yeah, I need to get back on my assisted living, right? Because that was a few $100s that would have helped me out with my rent, right? And I either have to do it now with this rentals lease, or I have to get a new place with the new lease in order to, because it takes 6 weeks to apply and for the money to come in, right? It takes about 6 weeks for the form to be processed. I could also, and I'm not sure if I'll have time tomorrow, but I also could try to be put at the top of the list in housing, because now my housing is being threatened, right? So now I become a priority and go to the top of the list in order to get to get a suite. So that's an option for me too. I just have a job that I enjoy for now. If I can figure out a little routine, right? And then somehow bring my shifts down to 4 days a week instead of 5 days a week, right? If I can bring my shifts down to 4 days a week and be able to afford to do that and have that extra day in order to work on my brand, because nothing stops there. Nothing stops there. So anything I do, that's just adding on to the plate, and I need to learn to adjust to that, right? Because I have goals, and that's the whole point of me doing my lives on Sunday night and doing my lives every day on Instagram and stuff. It's, to show the journey and to show people that, they could do it too if they wanted to, right? That it's never too late, because I started this when I was a baby boomer, right? I started all of this when I was a baby boomer. Ah. Aw. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, yeah, that's well, here if you're late, you pay $40 for a late fee, right? But I guess too it would depend on whether or not you're paying like a late fee for every day, or you pay a percentage for the month or something. Yeah, they've been pretty good here with me, right? I've never paid on the first. It's either been before then or it's been after then, but I never went like direct withdrawal so that they can withdraw it on their own every month, because I never knew when that money would be there. And it usually was always there. It's just last year, was it last year, the year before, just before, they did renovations on my apartment. And when they did the renovations on the apartment, my apartment rent jumped by $250. So it became more difficult for me. And then when I lost my jobs and couldn't hold on to my jobs anymore, it got really, really, really hard for me, right? But the landlord was always willing to work with me. And even right now, I'm a month and a half behind, but I have a big chunk of money sitting in the bank that I'm just leaving it there, right? And I'm going to have well over $1,000 there for them on Friday. So yeah, I don't know. All I can say is I try the best that I can. I'm having one of those weeks too, right? And all we can do is the best I can. I think that when I get contacted by Rentalsman, I'll actually have 5 days to make a decision on whether or not to have a hearing or just to pay what I owe and move on, right? They're building a suite across the lane. I would really like to go for that. He said he was going to charge $1,000 or $1,100 for it. So, with my rent assist, that would only be $600 a month, right? With my $650. I can afford that. And still pay my bills, right? And maybe put $100 a month away to get a vehicle this spring. Well, that's not, I won't get a vehicle this month, only putting $100. But if I start the auctions with the little things that I pick up at work, right? And then sell them on eBay or Kijiji or whatever, right? And be able to make a few $100s also every month on that. Maybe I could do it then, right? Maybe I could do it then. roommates too. Like, in my 20s, I had my friend Crystal. She was an absolute sweetheart, right? She was my favorite person to roommate with, and she was always late on her rent, and she always had her boyfriend. She was very pretty. She always had lots of boyfriends and stuff. She always had her boyfriends over and stuff, and she was a pain in the butt, but at the same time, I was a pain in the butt too, right? And we got along really, really, really well. Yeah, we roommated for years. Years. We had a very good. Yeah, I was very pleased with that relationship. She introduced me too, because maybe if I hadn't been her roommate, I wouldn't have had that opportunity to actually socialize with the people that I did. But in actuality, yeah, I started my group. So yeah, her friends kind of meshed in with my friends, right? I kind of entered into another group of guys. I don't even remember how I met them. I don't even remember. They were just the best crew ever, right? Yeah, we were friends, and yeah, we hung out with each other, and it carried on for like 10 years, and then eventually people got married, and like I said, they had babies and stuff, and we all changed, right? Everybody changed. Melvin, you got a point there about the rent, right? I always dreamed of having my own place. It just never worked out for me. I had a lovely house in Edmonton. It had a suite upstairs and a suite downstairs. It's one of those 1940s houses with the arched doorways, and had beautiful, beautiful, huge backyard, and a double garage, and a beautiful cove. It was just a lovely house, and it had windows in both sides in the kitchen, and my chair was right there, and I'd open the window on both sides, and I'd be sitting right in and the morning breeze would come through across my face, and there was like a birdhouse right outside my window on the apple tree, so there were apples. I loved that place until my husband started bringing the bikers home, and they started having biker parties in my backyard, and I couldn't do that. And once those people came into my house, forget it, right? That wasn't the life that I had signed up for, right? But he had decided that he wanted to change, and he wanted to be a biker, and he started hanging out with those people. And because we had the best yard for parties, right? And plus we had that suite in the basement that I had fixed up for him as a bar. Like, I fixed the whole kitchen up as a wet bar for him and everything. It looked so cool. It had swinging doors and everything, just like a saloon. It was really, really cool. And a living room and an extra bedroom and a bathroom down there. Big beer coolers, right? It was a great place for him to have his friends over and stuff, and he really enjoyed it, right? But I don't know what I was going to say about that. Oh yeah, so the bikers were always down there too. It wasn't the life for me, right? It wasn't the At that point, it wasn't the life for me, and yeah, I think that maybe that should have been a sign. I keep saying it was a surprise to me that it just happened like out of the blue. But I wasn't pleased with that, but I never said anything to him. I just didn't know what was going. I just thought it was just another phase that he would get through, and also the fact that I wanted him to enjoy and to experience the life that he wanted. And because I worked in the bar, and because the Hells Angels would come through, twice a year, and they always treated me with a lot of respect. They always were very courteous and very generous with me all the time. They never caused me any problems at all, right? And they would come from Quebec, right? And they would drive through, and they would come through and stay in Winnipeg for 1 or 2 days on their way to BC. It was a run that they did every August. Every August they would do, right? And I remember the leader. He was missing a thumb. He was so sweet to me, and huge tippers. Like, I would work those 2 days those were always my guys. I always took care of them. They had the top platform at the bar, and I would easily make $1,000 in tips that night, right? Yeah. But don't try touching any of theirs. Don't try and touch their clothes. If they hang their jackets on their chairs, don't don't touch any of them, or you're gonna like every group, they have their little rules of interactions, right? But you learn to respect them, and they treated you well. They treated me very well. They were very kind. I can't remember his name. Yeah, he was the president of the Hell's that chapter. I remember that he was, right, and they came out every year. But I remembered he was missing. I remember he was missing his thumb. That's what I remembered about him, right, when he come up for his beers and right, because it was sometimes it would get so, and especially those nights because they were like gods, right? The Hell's Angels, when they would come into the bars and stuff, they were like gods, and people would come from all over the city. As soon as they heard that the Hell's Angels were driving through and that they were stopping at the Grant, oh yeah, right? Everybody, those were two crazy nights. And like I said, I could easily make $1,000 each of those nights easily, right? And you're right on that too. You don't build any equity, do you, Melvin? Yeah. And on top of that, what about my reference? Now that my reference is ruined for this apartment, and I've been in this apartment for 25 years and I don't lie. So how do I explain that without fibbing? Right? I have to figure out a way. I have to be honest to be able to find a place to live, right? Because if they go and ask for a reference, then I'm not going to get a very good reference, right? Yeah. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. I'm packing, I'm getting things. The wall is getting fuller and fuller of things that I want to keep. Everything else, I've got the fireplace, I've got the art on the wall only because, it'll be easy just to whip off the pieces that I really, really have to have, right? I have a few pieces that I would like to keep, right? But other than that, the other ones can go, right? I'm not attached to anything. I'm pulling out a few things that are collectibles. I was thinking even having an estate sale and opening up the doors and just, right, $2 for this, $3 for this, and just sell out the whole apartment except what's on that wall, right? Because what's on that wall I want to keep. So yeah, I have to gotta buckle down. I gotta figure out. I'm not very good with money, but if there's something that I really, really want, I will save, right? I will save, and I really want to have a vehicle. I really want to have a car so that I can go camping and I can go do my back road explore, so I can do my videos, so I can do a little bit of traveling. This coronavirus is not going to last forever. And when it doesn't, when it's over, you guys, I'm coming to the States. I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to do a road trip. I'm going to do a road trip to the States, right? And I'm going to just stop off places and just talk to people and see how people are doing and spread some sunshine. I had the loveliest conversation walking home from the store today, walking down the back lane, and lady was straightening her garbage pails and everything for garbage pickup. She just stopped and we just chatted for a few minutes. Especially with the coronavirus, it's important to interact. We stood our distances, and she was a lovely lady, right? We had a nice conversation. It's important to have those little interactions along the way, right? I'm just going to read some comments here. Okay. Yeah, with me, I would prefer to live on my own, right? Like I said, I like being my own best friend. I like being able just to be able to do whatever I want and everything. But when you have somebody to rebound thoughts and ideas off of, right? You have somebody that keeps you accountable for not doing things like going to buy cookies or something like that when you shouldn't be eating them, right? You got somebody there to call you on it, right? Even if somebody says, if you have to go somewhere, so you can go and say, oh, how do I look, right? Because, you have to go for an interview or something, and you have somebody to rebound, somebody else who has ideas or something that can let you know. And, as much as we all say we like spending our own company together, how do you know anything different, right? Unless you do have company, right? Remember what I said about my my roommate Crystal, right? How much I enjoyed hanging out with her. We had some great parties. I always had the best. I used to have an annual Christmas party, and I used to have to put big signs up in the hallways of the building so that they wouldn't phone the police on us and everything, because I had these parties and people would come in and out. And oh my gosh, some of these parties I would have so many people, and every year I had a Santa. One of my friends, I had this costume, and we dressed them up as it would be like part Santa, part cowboy, part Santa, part clown, right? It was just like the strangest thing, but it was this warmest for a bunch of misfits who might have not had any family, because a lot of my friends didn't have any family, right? They were either kicked out of the house, or they left home early, or they just couldn't cope, right? Or their parents even died. For whatever reason, they end up on their own. And this way it gave them that family togetherness feeling like that, right? So I always put these parties on, and they were always looked forward. Every year they got bigger and bigger and bigger. And for whatever reason I stopped having those Christmas parties. Yeah. I met my husband. I did a lot of things, right, to accommodate him when I met him. I changed a lot of things about me. Some of them I liked about myself, some of them I didn't like, and I know I gave up a lot of my personal friends. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Oh boy. Let us know when you get it going there. Let us go. Let us know. Show us a picture. And if you guys don't know, Nancy is having her Halloween night on October 30th, where she's doing a train presentation, right, on her layout and her train. She's decorated her trains all Halloweeny. I would have showed you the pictures, but they were too far away, so all you really can see is the lights, right? But if you wanted to show me send me some close-ups of those trains, Nancy, I'll show them to my subscribers. I got my phone right here, right? And I'll show everybody those pictures. But what else is going on this week? Obviously, I didn't get kicked out. I'm going to hold them to the Rentalsman Act. I owe them the money. I owe them the money, right? If I have to go, I have to go. But what I'm doing is I'm actually buying time, right? I'm buying some time. Huh? I wonder if does Nancy know that's Kathy? That Nichols is Kathy? Because I always call them, because I know their names, right? I know everybody's names here. So, I know who they are, but I don't know if they know who each other are, because Kathy and Nancy, they've interacted on Instagram, but I think Kathy has Kathy has Sassy Colors, right, on Instagram, that you would know Kathy by Sassy, because she has her own channel too. She inspires people and she entertains people, and she puts out her adult colorings that are absolutely amazing on her brand on Instagram. So if you want to follow Kathy on her Instagram, she's got a beautiful, beautiful Instagram. We all look forward to her colorings, right? And look at all this time, Kathy. I could have had my picture that you did for me on the wall, but no. See, that's a prime example of worrying for no reason at all. I should have just let it go a long time ago and just let how the cards fall, how they fall, right? Oh, perfect. Oh, Nancy, yay. Everybody got that? And share it out. Let everybody know. Let's get some people on her channel to watch that. Amazing. Perfect, Nancy. Perfect. So now at least everybody is going to have your spot. Perfect. Hi, Henry. How's everybody doing tonight? I don't know. Henry, where are you from? I live here in Winnipeg, Canada. And we had our first real snows this week. So if we get oh, you're here from Winnipeg. Oh, perfect. Yeah, so I'm here from Winnipeg too. Most amazing city. I actually had an interview this week with a gentleman. He has a podcast that he does with Gordon Goldberg from Abandoned Manitoba. If you know those books that he has, Abandoned Manitoba and More Abandoned Manitoba. I actually leave links to them underneath here in my live here. If you can get into the descriptions there, you'll find, oh no, because now I'm linking to Evan Carmichael's book now in my live shows. I'm not linking to to Abandoned Manitoba. But anyway, I had this interview this week. It was so much fun and so interesting. I got online with him and we talked. We talked for an hour and a half, and it was so interesting. I had such a good time, and we talked about everything from the history of Manitoba to mindset and the mindfulness, right, that I practice, and a little bit of my personal life. I let him in on a little bit of that, and a little bit of my bottle digging. Henry, did you see what I'm digging on the corner of the Red River and the Assiniboine? I found myself a bottle dump from the late 1800s, and I'm digging. Look at this. Look, let me show my hatch. And it says Winnipeg. It says Winnipeg on that hatch. That was like the very first pop bottles. And this gentleman with this company, it's now Blackwoods, which belongs to 7-Up. 7-Up owns Blackwoods. And then I got a whiskey bottle and a beer. That's a beer bottle and another medicine. I have three different medicines, right? I know, Kathy. I love my bottles, and I'm going to get so many more. Maybe we can figure out. Maybe I'll be like a super gazillionaire, Kathy, and I could send you plane tickets and set you up in a hotel for you and a guest, and we could just tour the city, and I can take you for country drives, and we can go bottle digging. We would have the most amazing time in celebration of getting those legs back together, right? Being able to have your life back, right? That would be absolutely amazing, right? And I would look forward to that. And I'm not that person, right? But you, Kathy, for sure. Like, there are people in my life, right? There are some of my followers, like Sharon. I was so happy to have her stay with me. As stressful as it was, I was so grateful to actually have somebody come visit me the way it was. And it was, I wasn't used to it. It was like 25 years before I'd ever had anybody stay overnight at my place. And when she did that, it was, and I was sleeping on the couch, and I was stressing about my trip to Toronto, right? And she was so good. And at the end, she gave me this beautiful card with these beautiful saying that she wrote for me. And then she left a $50 bill, and she couldn't afford that. I gave it back to her. I wouldn't take the money from her, right? But, I thanked her very much. It was the thought that counted, and she needed that money just as much as I did, right? Yeah. And I made it Toronto, and I had that most amazing experience when I went to Toronto. I'd never been to Toronto before. I look forward to going to Toronto again. I've been looking at house listings in Toronto, whether it's for lease or for rent or anything, but they're so modern. All the houses there are just so modern, right? I like, the American bungalow, the ones with the built-in cabinets and the round arches, and, they have the plate, what do you call those rims along the wall at the top of the ceiling where you can stand all your plates across? Yeah. I'm in Little Italy. I'm in Osborne area in Crescentwood. What area are you from, Henry? Yeah, good luck with that setup, Nancy. Work on it. Send me some pictures, and yeah, thanks for sending the link, Nancy, so that we can get everybody over there. I'm glad you're occupying your mind, right? I'm glad you're occupying your mind and you're getting things done, right? Right? And provide a little enjoyment for yourself. And in the excitement of Halloween night, the pressure is on. You're going to stress out. Don't give yourself a panic attack. You might have a show going on, and think positively, work those trains, and be ready for a great show. It's going to go off absolutely amazing. I know it will. Oh, of course, Nancy. Anybody in my lives, you're more than welcome. If you have a YouTube channel and you want to promote your YouTube channel, I'm happy to have you do it, right? I'm happy for you to throw the link up there to your brand so that my followers can follow. That's what we do, right? We genuinely care about each other, and we genuinely try to move each other up in our evolutions, right? We are, what do you call those? Introspective. We're an introspective crew. And then we all come together on Sundays to kind of spew and dump our minds so that we can deal with the next week coming up. I'll watch the video after my live. I'll watch your introduction to the video. I saw that Kathy said that it was pretty good. So I'm looking forward. I don't want to leave it now, right? While I'm right in the middle of my lives and reading the comments and stuff. Oh, Kildonan. I love Kildonan. Kildonan's absolutely amazing. I used to drive Kildonan. I used to take Highway 15 all the time, almost every week, right? Yeah, I love Highway 15. And then I go down 320 and I take 320 straight down to number 10. And then I would take number 10 all the way down to, right, St. Laura, right, to where the fort was. Yeah, I haven't been out to the fort, never. Yeah, me and my sisters, like, we have a difficult time. Our spirits just don't get along, right? And I keep trying because I know it's part of my brand, right, to help people. But some people, unless they don't want to be helped, like, I don't know what to do, right? As much as I love them, I just can't keep trying because it stops me from helping even more people. And that's my sister. And that's what breaks my heart so much, is because I would love that if she could get involved in my brand too, right? If she could, be happy for me and want to tag along for the journey, because it's a fun journey, right? But it's not her thing, right? And if it's not her thing, then why? Any free time that I have, I want to spend it working on my brand. Now that I'm back to work, I don't have a lot of time, right? So I need to figure out how to make a little bit of a living, right? Extra living, so that I can bring my hours down at my work, so that, I can get out there and expand on my brand a little bit more, right? And make my brand the main income, so that, my work could be more like volunteer work, where I can give back a little bit, right? And that's their mission statement for the job I have, right? Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. They're really developing that area, aren't they? I can't imagine, like every time I drive down there, I just can't believe how much development, like new development, is going on in the Kildonan area. Here in Winnipeg, they are not stopping. What are your guys' cities out there? How do they look? Are they doing a lot of construction and everything still? because the construction here in Winnipeg is not stopped. It's been going. I don't know if these places are being sold or if they're being rented or if they're being sat while they're still being under construction. I don't know, but I think it has something to do with that. The government paying 75% of the wages or something, and people are just taking advantage of that to get these buildings put up, with the labor costs being a lot lower than what it would be normally, right? Because they're getting that money rebated back at them, right? I don't know. I could be talking off the top of my head there, but it just seems odd that there's so much construction where there's a for rent sign on almost every single apartment block in the city, right? Because nobody could afford to live in an apartment, right? And here I am, I'm squatting. I feel like I don't feel like I'm squatting because I'm putting money into account, right? So that's good that I'm doing that, but I got to be careful not to dip into that money, right? Oh, okay. There is so they're getting that money. Those guys are working and getting that money for that construction, because that stuff it's expensive to do that, right? So there must be a market. There must be a market for that. People must be buying houses. I got Melbourne started, you guys. I got Melbourne started. Yeah. I don't know much about politics at all. I know that my dad loved Pierre Trudeau, and I think my dad would be absolutely thrilled to death to know that his son is Prime Minister of Canada. Right? I think there would be lots of things. I think my dad would be even a bigger gambling addict, because he would have been so into, because he passed away before those video lottery terminals come out, right? My dad would have been right into video lottery terminals like crazy. He actually, he'd be online gambling at home. He'd probably be like a Poker Stars king or something like that. Yeah, for sure he was. He wouldn't even bother with the casinos at that point, right? I don't know how I got onto that conversation, but I did. Something about about him liking Pierre Trudeau. My dad would be very impressed with a lot of things going on in the world right now, but my dad would also be very, very disappointed. My dad would have been absolutely in love with Elon Musk. He would have loved that, right? I think my dad would have been like a pen pal to him or something, right? Because my dad, when he admired somebody or something, he would delve right into their content, right? And yeah, it kind of makes me wonder too if my dad had a little bit. I think probably my dad did have quite a bit of codependency in him, right? His experience was sort of kind of like mine. I'm not sure about the physical abuse part of it, but I do know that his father was a very, very bad alcoholic, and I know he verbally abused my dad. Like, he would say things, "You're not like my son, you're like the postman's kid, you don't even look like me." Stuff like this, even though my dad did look very much like my grandfather. But, he would say really, really mean things to my dad, right? My dad had congenital heart disease. My dad couldn't take that, right? And actually, towards the end, my grandfather, he was one of those bus stop alcoholics, right? And and he was one of those bus stop alcoholics, and he got tuberculosis, and he was very, very sick for the longest time. But then the doctor said that he was going to be put in a home unless my dad took him, right? But my grandpa was an alcoholic, and a vicious, mean alcoholic, right? Like vicious, mean. And my dad couldn't take it. And I remember I moved in with the first guy that I moved in with him, and we were caretaking a block, and we had just been there for maybe a week or two. I didn't tell him, but my dad asked me if my grandfather could come stay with me. And of course, I would do anything my dad would say. And I remember telling my dad, sure, but I didn't know how to tell Ray that my grandfather was coming. So I didn't say anything to him. And just kind of hoped that he didn't show up, because again, my grandfather was an alcoholic. Anything could happen. He just kind of disappeared off the face of the earth for a couple months at a time, all the time, right? And sure enough, he showed up on my doorstep. And that very same day, I had to kick Ray out. And then my grandfather moved in with me instead and caretake the building. And the thing is, we had a bar like just a block away from where I lived. And because he's an alcoholic, he used to stay there until the end of the night at the bar. And then he would bring home all these bikers and drunk people to the house. And he would get me to make dinner for them at like 2:00 in the morning. Right. And I'd be sitting there watching TV in my pajamas and in my nightgown. And there would be my grandfather all pounded with his friends. And I'd be up making dinner for them. It was just this. And then he would let these guys sleep in the furnace room, because he was the caretaker. We were the caretakers. Right. And he'd always say, well, I know what it feels like to be homeless. Right. And these people would be sleeping in the furnace room, which is kind of kind. Right. Because you don't want anybody to be cold or anything. But yeah, my grandfather was a very mean alcoholic. And then eventually we had to go our separate ways, because my grandfather would take the rent money that people would pay the rent, and he would spend it, and then he would try and cover the rent with his pension at the end of the month. It was really strange. I lived in a very, very dynamic family, even in my 20s, right? Yeah, that was probably, and then right after that, that's when I started, being friends with Crystal and that crew and everything. And then life got really, really good. So yeah, I kind of remember when life started to get pretty good with me. And that was funny, because at that time I was 311 pounds, and I still had fun. I still enjoyed life, right? I still didn't let it stop me. I was very sad and very depressed that I didn't have men chasing after me, and I didn't have relationships, and I couldn't fit into small people clothing and stuff like that. But I always had good jobs. I always was making good money, like always. Like I was always a good worker. And I found that I was always a good worker because I was trying to avoid conflict, right? Like you work really, really hard to keep your job, to keep people calm, to stop people from freaking out or complaining at you, right? And that's what I was doing. And that was the codependence in me, right? And people pleasing part of me, right? And I did that. I did that so much. And then I think about it, right? And then I go into these jobs, and I work so hard to do such an amazing job. And I work so hard to try to be, part of the management team and stuff, so that, I don't have to deal with other people's opinions and stuff, because I'm calling the shots, right? And people sense this, and then they think it's a power trip, right? Like you're trying to take over the world. But no, I'm just trying to control my space around me, but they take it differently, right? And I could see how they would see it that way. So I could see why they would not like me, or I would off-put them, because so now I try to explain myself a little bit, that it's a little bit of a neurosis, that I just have to try and work really hard, because it's just something that bothers me if I don't. But I don't. And I make it a point of saying, but I don't care. Everybody makes their own choices in life, right? And what I do doesn't have to be what everybody does. It's just the way. And I try to explain it, but I don't even know why I think I have to explain it, right? Because if they want those positions too, it's just as fair enough for them to work just as hard for me or compete with me, so that they get chosen for those positions rather than I do. Not like I'm looking for one of those positions, but my work ethics, right? My work ethics, how it would kind of make people feel like they're not doing a good job, because, there are people that I work with that have been there for years and years and years, and I kick butt, right? I kick butt, but it's, and even if I was there 10 years, I would still work the exact same ways because it's my work ethic, right? I have really good work ethic, but it's all avoidance of conflict, because I don't want to have conflict. I want to be able to control my situation. It's a hyperactive, kind of hyper vigilant kind of thing, where I want to control my surroundings. Don't you dare, Andrew. Don't you dare. Don't bring people into your living space. I know you're a giving person, right? And that's where your abundance comes from, Andrew, is because you're such a kind heart, right? And people like us are givers, right? We and it's just our nature to do that. We do it even before we have a chance to think differently. It's already happened, right? And it's just the way it goes. I often think about it every week of inviting a homeless person to come to my house, but I don't even have a meal to feed myself. So it's not like I can invite them for dinner, but I can invite them to have a shower, right? So they can have a shower and they can sit in the warm, maybe they have a nap on the couch before they head out again. But these are desperate people, and desperate people do desperate things in desperate times, right? And that's the situation. And we have to be safe. Like, once we get to a certain point in our understandings, it's very important to watch out for our own safety, because now we have a responsibility to the world, or the 25 people closest to us that we take care of, right? So you end up, because then it's all cause and effect, because then I go, who are all the people that I had the missed opportunity of helping along the way, right? I love that saying. An amateur practices until he gets it right. A professional practices until he cannot get it wrong. Right? Love that. Here's a good one, Nancy. Nancy can't help herself, right? Okay, so go fix your chains. This is something Richard Grannon was saying this. I was watching one of his videos today because, we were talking about, I woke up with the revelation and the thoughts on the topic of the suffering of man. What comes to your mind there, Andrew, when I say that? Does a Bible quote come? Like, I Googled it to see where I might have picked up that idea for a topic, right? Where I might have picked up. I couldn't find any Bible reference in it. I did find a yogi who did talk about it. I think it was a Hare Krishna. It was a gentleman who was a Hare Krishna who was talking a little bit about it. But it came to mind this morning as the topic. And I think this topic is going to take at least a few days for me to study. I just started studying it, right? And the topic was the suffering of man. So it's really strange that you say this. So after I got up and I turned on the computer, and I always pick one of the first 3 videos. And today I picked a Evan Carmichael video. And then after that, I watched a Richard Grannon video. And when I watched that video, instantly, it had the answers to my questions in that, right? He was saying it is not our responsibility. Sometimes we're interfering because we are such givers and because we want to help. And what we do is we enable people from their paths in life, in the things that they need to overcome and conquer in their lives, because what we do is we eliminate the need for them to search out for the answers, because we are taking care of their needs. they said that sometimes it's our responsibility to make sure that man suffers their own sufferings, that they have their own sufferings, and that they have to take the lessons from their own sufferings. And sometimes it's not good for us to interfere with the lessons. And it was really strange to wake up with the idea, because I never voiced it. I never Googled anything. I never researched. I never even heard of the phrase before, right? And then to wake up this morning and the thoughts and the quote, I don't know if it was a quote or if it was just a statement. And the statement was the suffering of man, right? So then after my live today and everything, I did a little bit of Googling, but I didn't come up with much. I did watch a YouTube video of that yogi. Marish, I can't remember his name. He has a very, very white beard. His beard is very white, and his old pictures, his hair was very dark and his beard was white, but now his head is bald and his beard is very, very white, and it's square. His beard is squared. Now I don't know what his nationality is. He looks maybe he might be a little bit of Tibetan, right? See you later, Henry. Thanks for popping in. I definitely need more affordable housing too. Agreed. Oh, well, that's good, where they can shower and wash their clothes too. That's a good thing, right? And that's important. At least everybody can at least have their dignity by being able to have, a nice warm shower at the very least, right? Nothing like a shower and a bar of soap. I love having a shower. I love standing in the shower. I sometimes my showers are just a little bit long, right? I often have quite long showers. But I have some of my best insights, and I did have a longer shower today, right? Just because I was so in depth with my thoughts. And I don't like to have these big heavy topics, right? Like I'm ready for some fun, light everyday topics, and I have lots of those. I have lots of those too. It's a kind of like a balance for me, right? But to the suffering of man, I was thinking, wow, that sounds pretty heavy. Sounds like a pretty heavy topic to be studying, right? But we are in those times right now where people are suffering, right? But let's see what Andrew had to say on that topic. Where is my, oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, what I would assume so. Right? And that was the whole point of me breaking off my sister. Like even today, Andrew, she was saying, "Oh, I'll pay the bills. I'll get you back on track. I'll wiggle my nose and I'll put everything back to normal." And I said, "No." Right? I just ignored her. I didn't even reply. Right? I can't, because that's what it does to me, right? You hit it on the nail there, Andrew. You hit it on the nail there when you said that. How do they live without a sense of accomplishment? And that's what I needed. I needed to have that sense of accomplishment. And when people do things for that, like it enables me not to go off and do those things for myself. And it's why I have such a problem with the ask, right? Because it's been instilled in me that, those kind of things are things that I don't have to worry about, that they're going to be taken care of for me, right? Those things are going to be taken care for me. And then it makes me enabled so that I'm not, or enabled, right? So that I'm not able to do that. I'm not able to ask for help when I need help and stuff. Yeah, I have no problem asking for help from other people, but asking for help from myself, it's really, really hard. And you hit it on the nail there, Andrew, right? How could I possibly have a sense of accomplishment if I let other people support me, right? How could I ever have that feeling? Was that Andrew or was that Nancy who said that? I don't know. It was pretty smart anyway. But I did that for a very long time, right? Because I was so into my studies and because I was so used to it. I did that the best that I could, right? Because I didn't have much. So of course I'm going to be scrambling, right? And clinging on to whatever is going to take care of me. Yeah. Right? 100%. Born to trouble. Oh, Andrew found something here. The book of Job. There was something I read today and they quoted something from Job. I don't know how popular he is, but I did. I don't remember what the quote is, and I wouldn't be able to find it again unless YouTube actually made note of it and and you watch. They'll send me something that will have that Job quote in it that will reference that, and I'll get my answer. Oh, Nancy sent me a picture to show everybody. Let's get in here. Let me grab the picture for you guys. Do 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 do. Where's Nancy? Here we go. Oh, okay. She sent me the link for the party. So I'm looking forward to that. I haven't gotten the pictures yet though. I haven't gotten the pictures yet. I'm waiting for the pictures. We'll see. Oh, here it is. Let's see. I don't know. No, it hasn't come in yet. But I'll show everybody. But yeah, I got the link to your Halloween party there, Nancy. And we're gonna call it a Halloween party, right? I'm gonna show up in my pajamas. That'll be good because nobody's gonna see me anyway because I'll be on your channel that night. So yeah, I'm just gonna sit in my pajamas and I'm just gonna enjoy it, right? And actually, I have my schedule. Where's my schedule? I have my schedule so I can actually tell you what day, what time. Oh, excellent. I'll be home at 4:00. I'll be home at 4:00. So I'll be there, which is 2. Oh yeah, I have lots of time. Yeah, I'll be there, Nancy, for sure. That'll be lots of fun. And then I could be like Andrew, just in case Andrew doesn't make it because he doesn't have Instagram, right? But oh no, it's on the YouTube channel. So of course Andrew will be there. So yeah, me and Andrew will moderate your live. Nancy, make sure you give me the wrench when I come in. I want the wrench. And I'll come in and moderate your channel. Moderate your live for you. Is it going to be a live or is it just going to be a video? I think you said it was going to be a live, right? Yeah. Oh, well, that'd be fun, right? Yes. I'm not quite sure about that. She's in my lives all the time, Nancy. You've actually been chit-chatting with her when she's been in the lives too. So let me just look at her tag here for Instagram. Yeah, just Nancy Jones. Just Nancy Jones. And you'll find her on Instagram with that, Kathy. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be lots of fun. It'll be a good way for us to kind of get together, right? Kind of get together and have just a really nice evening. Aw. Yeah, we'll all be there now. Well, I'm not speaking for everybody because everybody has different life schedules and work schedules and everything, but I, for one, will definitely be there. No questions at all, right? And actually, I'll just add it right now. Hey, Google, add to calendar.
What's the title of the event?
Nancy's Halloween party.
Okay, when is the event?
October 30th.
At what time?
7 p.m.
Okay, Nancy's Halloween party on Friday at 7 p.m. Do you want to save that?
Yes, please.
Sure, I saved your event.
Thank you. And we're done. Okay, I won't miss that. I won't miss that. It'll be lots of fun. It'll be lots of fun, Nancy. Right? And you deserve to have me come over there. You've done so much for my brand and keeping me keeping me company and keeping me on the right path, even though I have these grand ideas, right? I have these grand ideas. You keep me on the right path. You keep me being able to feel like a realist, because I do feel like a realist, even though I'm not practicing very realistic in other people's minds ideas. But to me, it's still realism. Robert's here. Oh, Robert, glad you made it in tonight. How are you doing tonight? And how are you doing this week? Robert's one of our followers here. Yeah, we have an amazing crew here. We do really have an amazing. Everybody shows up. Except Owen. Owen's late, but he'll always come in afterwards. Hi, Owen. If you don't make it in tonight, and if you pop in, and same with Dave, right? And same with for everybody. Kim, all of you guys, Karen, like all of you guys. Like it's, we notice when you don't make it in, and it's not a big deal because I can tell by my views later on and during the course of the week that you guys are coming in afterwards and watching the live shows afterwards, right? Same old stuff. Same old stuff. But is the week going okay, Robert? Yeah, life doesn't change lots of times for people, right? But sometimes we have to just kick our butts and just make complete changes for ourselves, right? Like I said, my whole back wall there is all packed boxes. I've been packing stuff as I go. I've got my computer box right here, just ready to slap her in and move on out there. I've got a dolly there, all loaded with my most important boxes. So at the very least, I get my most important boxes, right? Got my knapsack is packed, and I've got my travel case is packed, right? I wish. I'm not sure where I'm going to be moving. I'm going to try and get on a priority list for housing. I'm also going to apply for my rent assist. I'm also going to see if I can apply for that apartment across the lane that they're building. He wants $1,200. He said he's going to rent it for between $1,000 and $1,200 a month. But if he rented it to me for $1,100 a month and I got $400 rent assist, that would be a very cheap apartment, and I could financially afford that apartment, right? And I would have something brand new, and I could build a nice stereo. Got some great rope lighting that changes color. I'm going to make the most amazing studio, right? I like this blue gray though. I really like this blue gray, and I think I'm going to keep it. I think I'm going to keep the blue gray, and I like the darker blue, mauvey blue. Bluish gray, yeah, that's a blue gray too, but that's just a darker one, right? A more mauvey one. And with the Inuit painting, I think it looks really good, right? and I like my bottles up there. But it'll be a different set altogether. You never know. I might make it all tacky. Maybe I'll do the shelves all in string lights or something. Maybe I won't even use the string lights. But I'm ready for a new set, right? I'm ready for a new set. I'm ready for a new life, right? And this is it, right? I know that this is it, and I just keep moving forward, but I'm just doing it at my own pace. I know that, right? Everybody goes to Ricky's. Everyone goes to Cindy's. Aw, then make it. You can make that decision, Robert, at any moment. You truly, truly can. You truly can. It might be a bumpy ride, but I always say you're going to be here tomorrow. I know big changes are here in store for me, right? But I just got to be like an elastic, and I have to, be able to stretch and move and stuff, so that at the same time, I'm just going to check my messages here just to see if Nancy's pictures came into my channel here. Oh, not yet. They didn't show up. I got more requests though. There they. I'm sorry, Nancy. There they are. Oh, image is concealed. Except primary. Oh, they all came in. Wow. Okay. Based on the actual caboose of Burlington Northern. I'm just trying to see. It won't let you do it. Her cabooses. That's one of her trains there. It's another one of her trains there. Those are her platforms, right? They're really dark, but hopefully you can see them. Those are her trains. Yeah, and she's decorated them with lights and everything for her Halloween party. And Nancy, if you just want to drop that link again into the live chat, right? Do it numerous times. If you're popping in, do it numerous times, because people are popping in at all different times during the live, right? So if you do it again, then those who didn't get the link can copy it, right? I was deluding myself, Andrew. Definitely. You're talking about me in those aspects, right? Depending on other people, right? Yeah, I did that for years. Just a survival trait, just a survival trait. Yeah, I got them. And you sent me a different account. I guess you have two Instagram accounts. So it maybe accept your other one. So I just attached it to my primary. So I have it now. But yeah, I'm definitely I'm ready for a change. I'm ready to move, right? I'm ready to move on to something else. And change is good. I know change is really, really hard, right? But once you make this decision and once you make the first move, and if you just trust that everything's going to work out okay, right? Like, I packed up my whole house. How long has it been? Like a month ago, I packed up my whole house and I dropped it off on the side of my living room there, and stressing out that I was going to be kicked out and everything. And look I'm still here. Did I do all that worrying for nothing for that month? Maybe. But in hindsight, I was able to start packing and do a good job and do things at my own pace, right? I know where everything is if I need to get into it. I can throw out junk and take trips down to the donation box and donate stuff, right? It gives me time to get really good quality boxes in the dumpsters and stuff so I can have good packing and make sure that I can wash things down and clean things properly and make it organized. So there were aspects of why I got that advance month notice that, yeah, and I had to quickly start packing, right? And just the fact that I could get rid of a lot of stuff that I don't need. I've been even throwing out. What did I throw out today? That was, when I graduated high school at 18 years old, my dad gave me a great big book like this, right? And in the book were prints of the Fabergé eggs. I don't know if anybody out there is familiar with the Fabergé eggs. And today I threw that book out. I threw that. That was a graduation gift from my father, but the pages were coming undone, right? The pages were coming undone. The book was so old. And I was cleaning the area. I said, do I really need to have this book? I haven't even looked at this book in probably a year. I do on occasion look at it because I was in love with some of those Fabergé eggs, right? The Tsar of Russia used to make them as gifts. Some of the finest jewelers he would use, and he would make these trinkets and these jewelry boxes, these egg jewelry boxes, every single one different with different jewels, some in gold, some in silver, some in alabaster, right? And I had the whole book, and today I threw it out with no attachment to it at all. The other day I threw my grandmother's a candle. It was a candle holder. It was chipped. It was really, 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 really old. And I never used it, but I didn't have good vibes with it, but I just held on to it because it was my grandmother's, right? And, yesterday I threw it away and it didn't bother me in the least. The day before that, I was also doing some packing. And I have this royal teacup. It's a pagoda teacup. It's so thin. It's like paper. Like it's like thinner than a Christmas ornament. It was so delicate, and it was coral color and had a dragon wrapped around the teacup and a dragon all across the saucer. And I had this teacup for decades. It was worth a little fortune, right? I don't know how much it was, but it was part of the royal colors, right? And the dragons were from a royal family and everything. And I had this teacup, and I went and wrapped it, and I delicately put it in my box, right? And then I had another little ornament, and the box was already packed, and I opened up the box and I dropped the ornament in it, and I heard crack. And I knew right away it was the teacup. I had broken the teacup, So I pulled it up, and sure enough, the saucer was fine, but the teacup was broken. So I just threw them both. I just not even given them a thought, not heartbroken, not anything. That's life. Oh, well, right? And even though I had this teacup forever, if I was going to give all my teacups away, that was the one teacup I was either going to keep or I was going to sell for a little bit of a fortune, right? Thank you, Nancy, for adding that in. Yeah, make sure. I would love to have everybody there on the 30th. Everybody, if my crew could meet Nancy on her channel, right? 7 p.m. Is it 7 p.m.'s the West Coast, right? So Pacific Standard Time. I have no written post tonight. This week I finished a series, a 25-part series I did every day. I wrote every day. It was a 25, just crazy. 25-part series I did on my trip to Toronto, right? Robert, email me. I have a link for you. I want to send you a link, but I don't have your email address. Can you get a hold of me? Don't put it in the comments or anything. Don't put your email address in the comments. But if you get a hold of me with your email, or you can get a hold of me through Instagram or even Facebook or something, right? Then I could send you a link. I want to send you a video to watch, okay? It's a founding story. I want to send you my founding story. Yeah, dealing a little bit about, my own experiences with trauma and abuse, right? So I wanted to send that to you so you could see it, that you're not alone, right? Oh, awesome, Owen. Awesome, Owen. A little bit late. We're just getting ready to end our live tonight, Owen. But that's all good. That's all good. You can always go back and watch the live again. It wasn't much. It's just all keeping pace. Even Robert was just kind of quiet in the background today. Like Robert's not even chit-chatting with us today, right? We're happy to stay after the live show is over. If you want a little bit of a, want to hang out and do a little bit of chit-chatting afterwards, just let us know, right? And then those of us who want to stay around and help out, right? But, sometimes we just want to have quiet days. Sometimes we're just okay in our miserable lives, and we're, there's no point in even fighting it. We just kind of let things kind of happen, right? What are you talking about? Mentioning Trudeau once. What's that about there at Melvin? Yeah. But yeah, Robert, anytime, Robert, get a hold of me and I will send you the link to a video to watch. You might find it very, very interesting. You might find it very helpful at the same time, right? You might find it very helpful. And I haven't sent it to a lot of people. A few people have seen it, right? It is pretty powerful. It's very moving. And if anybody wants to see it, I'm happy to pass that link to you. But I don't know if yeah, I said I was going to post it to my YouTube channel, and I'm thinking about it. It's not very good. I don't feel the same way as I did back then. I don't feel the same way. I could attach another video to it and make it in 2 parts, right? But I'm not bowing out of it for any reason except for the fact that I think I could tell the story better now, especially with that I have a better understanding of things, right? Oh, Trudeau. You don't like Trudeau, Melvin. Yeah, my dad would have liked Trudeau. I think he would have liked Trudeau. Oh, Kathy. You know, you're just, I know you're just not feeling good, and you're just so excited and everything just to have some entertainment and everything while you're feeling better. And I could just see the excitement in your writing, right? I'm just so happy I'm just looking forward to some good health for you this summer, Kathy. I'm just really looking forward to it, right? I can just already see the cheerfulness already starting to come back into your life, right? That would be absolutely amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. Even with myself, too, I never suffered with anxiety unless somebody was pressuring me into doing something that I didn't want to do, right? Like the ask, right? When I get forced to ask about things, and it puts me in a panic, and sometimes I could go ahead and I can crash through it and I can feel really good, oh, you did it, Cindy. How amazing is that? But then when I go to try again, it becomes twice as hard originally because I remembered how hard it was. And then I compounded even worse than I did before. I have such a hard time with that, right? Owen, what's going on, Owen? Did you say you were not feeling well, Owen? Is that what's going on? Why everybody's hoping that you're feeling better? Oh, okay, I see. I see that message there that you're not feeling well tonight. I'm sorry to hear about that, Owen, that you're not well tonight. Don't stick around if you're not feeling good. You don't have to feel like you have to entertain anybody or anything, right? That's nice that you just popped in. I hope it's nothing that's going to last in any way, and I hope everybody out there is still staying safe with the coronavirus and everything, and that everybody's wearing their face masks no matter what. Right? I said right from the very beginning when they said, "Oh, it's not necessary to." No, don't listen to them. Keep your mask on, right? No matter what. It might not be providing you as much service as it would be providing somebody else. Like if you had the cold, from you coughing into the mask rather than coughing on somebody instead of coughing on somebody else, right? But definitely, Owen, I hope you feel better real soon. And I hope, Kathy, I hope you feel amazing real soon. And I hope Nancy, right? I hope you have the most amazing party on Saturday. It's going to be a pajama party. I'm coming in my pajamas. Nobody's going to see me anyway, right? I'm going to sit here in my pajamas with my cup of coffee and I'm just going to have a grand old time. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And I'm interested to see how many people from my crew show up for your live show. And I hope like those comments go like crazy. But don't forget to give me the wrench, Nancy, so that and give Andrew the wrench too, so that me and him can moderate your live show, right? We'll do a really good job for you. Perfect. Perfect. Just highlight. Oh, right. I could say you could double tap on it and you can highlight it and then it'll give you the option to copy. And then you just come back in to and where the comments are and you hit it twice and then you'll have the option to paste and just paste it in. There you go. Yeah, just double tap on it where the blue, like your email will highlight in blue, and plus it'll have the option. You could just hit copy, and then you could just come back here, tap it twice, and then just paste it, right? Because it'll give you the option to paste. We'll see if you could do that, because you know what? If you could figure that out, especially on your channel, right? Especially for your adult coloring channel, that'll come in so handy dandy, right? So that you can put links to your different posts and you can put links to people who comment on your content and stuff. You'll find great use out of that, Kathy, for sure you will. So can you say what's wrong, Owen? Is it like an upset stomach or something that you have? You can always catch Nancy or Kathy in my lives. If you go to my IGs, Nancy, you'll see Sassy Colors comments because she comments on my lives and on my comments or on my posts all the time. So you'll be able to catch your link off of that if she couldn't leave the link to it herself, right? Yeah, because she always leaves a lovely comment. And at the same time, I could maybe I can do that. Can I do that? Maybe I can do that for her too, right? Oh, emotionally, Owen, what's wrong? Emotionally, you're not doing well. Is your mom okay? Oh, perfect, Kathy. Yeah, so Nancy's got you as a subscriber now, so that now Nancy has your email. So she'll take it from there. But yeah, that's what you do is you just highlight, press copy, then go back into the comments or your comments or wherever you want to leave the link, and then you just double tap and and then that blue bar will show up, and you just push that paste, and there you go. It works out excellent, and you'll get lots of use of that on your brand, right? This is going to be fun. I'm interested to see who's going to show up at Nancy's Halloween party. That's really, really quite amazing that we've got a little something for Halloween, right? Oh, I didn't show everybody this one. You know, I always say I'm a tree. I picked this up for $1. Somebody put a lot of work into it. It's a this way. It's a some brass wire, and they twisted it and everything and turned it into a tree with a little swing, and they put little pebbles on a piece of slate, right? Somebody put a lot of work into it. I absolutely love it because it matches my brand, because I always say I'm like a tree, right? I breathe in dioxide and I breathe out oxygen to the world. That's my job. That's my job. I breathe in dioxide and I breathe oxygen to the world. Just like all of you guys too, right? And you're spreading your sunshine, even though you guys have all that miserable going on. And when you're not feeling well, whether it's emotionally or physically, right? Right? And then you show up anyway and you spread your sunshine. That's where the good mojo comes from, right? That's where that saying darkness in the light comes from. That doesn't mean, that means you're spreading your sunshine even though you're in the midst of your darkness, right? And you got to think that's pretty absolutely amazing as far as I'm concerned, right? You're not supposed to spread sunshine when sunshine is just shining on you, right? Spread that sunshine even when the rain and the snow and the sleet and the wind, right? And you're chilled right down to the bone, right? And somebody's screaming at you at the same time as you're sliding down the hill on your skis, and you fall head first and you turn into a big snowball. You go down the hill and you take out buildings at the bottom. And you still smile, and you still smile. Darkness in the light. I love darkness in the light, right? I'm darkness in the light. I think I'm darkness in the light. I'd like to think that I'm darkness in the light when things aren't going good and stuff. Like, still spread the sunshine. You're still shining no matter what. Life, you're still here tomorrow no matter what, right? So why beat yourself up? Why be miserable? Why, like my wall of boxes, be prepared for the worst, right? Why? Why not be optimistic and think that things are going to get better, right? Things are going to get better. Perfect. Aw, Kathy, right? I like to think that I'm light and darkness. Like, no matter what. Like, my whole life I've been that way. My whole life I've been that way, shining on the people that I love, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In this life, that's the person that I am. I'm a people pleaser. So what? So what? I take care of myself too, right? But what am I going to do if things are going bad for me? What I'm going to do? I'm going to sit amongst it and just let it rain on me, right? And let my miserableness just pass on to other people? No, right? That's how we come out of the darkness. We come out of the darkness by spreading our light no matter what, no matter what. Because if it wasn't this, it would have been something else. Okay, everybody. That's it for tonight. We'll be back next. Well, we're going to see each other. When's the 30th? What day is the 30th? I'm not quite sure. Friday, right? Friday night? We'll see everybody Friday night on Nancy's channel, right? For her Halloween party. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be in my pajamas, a big bowl of popcorn, right? And I'm going to get a lot of pleasure and a lot of relaxation by watching that choo-choo. Okay, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you next Friday. And if I don't see you at Nancy's Halloween party, right, Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, Kathy. And I hope you get well really soon. Robert, thank you, thank you. Sometimes we have those quiet nights. Those are okay too, right? Like I said, shine your light anyway. That's how we're going to get out of the darkness, by holding the doors, paying compliments, right? Giving little kindnesses, spreading the light. Even though you're in the midst of the darkness, you could still shine a little bit on somebody, right? Yes, we all know that. Okay, everybody. See you next Sunday. Have a great night. Oh, and see you next Friday, too. Okay, bye-bye.